This is KFMB-TV, San Diego. News 8 at 5 with Hal Clement, Susan Peters, Lauren Nancaro, and Ted Leitner. News 8, San Diego's #1 source for news.
Good evening. Our top story at 5 o'clock, another crash involving an American Eagle commuter plane.
American Eagle Flight 3379 went down a short time ago near the Raleigh-Durham International Airport in North Carolina. The Jetstream airplane with 20 people on board crashed in a wooded area.
Initial reports say there are at least 5 survivors. We don't know yet about possible fatalities. The temperature in the area was 37 degrees and it was raining at the time of the crash.
Now this, of course, is the second crash involving an American Eagle plane in the past 2 months. In October, a crash in a different type of plane in Indiana killed all 68 people on board.
We are, of course, following the story very closely, and we'll have an update for you at 5:30.
Well, there's much happier news here locally. All signs point to San Diego hosting the Republican National Convention in 1996.
And after coming so close back in 1972, San Diego looks to be the big winner in 96.
Let's go right to News 8's Carol Hassan to begin our Team 8 coverage of the GOP San Diego connection. Carol?
Hi, Hal, and we chose to stand here in front of the view that the city was trying to sell to the Republican National Committee. The I's are not dotted, the T's are not crossed. It is by no means a done deal. The city will have to raise $16 million in private donations. The contract has to be negotiated. The Republican National Committee has to vote. But so far, it looks like a go for San Diego. After months of nail-biting, the mayor of San Diego got the call.
All I know is that the chairman called me and said, we want to negotiate a contract to come to San Diego, and that was good news.
That was an understatement for San Diego, which has tried hard twice before, in 1992 and 1972, and not won.
The concern was always based on how many people can you fit in one room for that 1 or 2 important nights.
So San Diego put on a show and used computer magic to convince the site selection committee it could squeeze enough people in.
High tech helped persuade the Republican National Convention to come here.
$40 million of direct visitor spending the week of the convention. 2 weeks prior to the convention, 5,000 rooms or 50,000 room nights will be utilized by national media coming in to set up early.
For a city that counts on tourism, it is an economic and public relations bonanza, a week-long commercial to the world. San Diego happens to be the nation's 6th largest city. San Diego is not sure. The rest of the country knows.
Every time we succeed in San Diego, somebody says, well, does this put San Diego on the map? Let me tell you, San Diego is on the map, has been on the map for a long time, and we will continue to be on the map.
Republicans are hoping to get on the map that year in California with its 54 electoral votes. If the Republican National Committee gives the final okay, it will be the first Republican convention in California in 30 years. And the mayor says that she will meet members of the committee halfway in Chicago as early as next week to begin those contract negotiations, and the full Republican National Committee will vote in January. Back to you, Susan.
And Carol, if this does in fact go through, how many people are we really expecting, and what kind of people are they?
This may surprise you. They're talking about 35,000 people. Only 5,000 of those people are delegates. Now, some are family members, but most of the rest of those people are members of the news media. And they were very concerned about the amount of media workspace here because, as you know, if those people are not happy, how they can grumble.
They sure can. I know. Thanks, Carol.
Yeah, those media people take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
It's San Diego's, Carol mentioned, 3rd chance for a big boost in the economy after having hearts broken in 1972 and 92. If the Republican convention does in fact come to America's finest city, GOP will mean green in our pockets. News 8's Graham Ledger in the newsroom with more. Graham?
That's right, Hal. It'll mean millions and millions of dollars. That's what thousands and thousands of Republicans, media, and others, as we said, coming here in August of '96, and they'll all be spending a lot of money here.
It's called Republican Red Ale.
The beer of choice for Bob Dole.
We're serving it all the way through, continually through 1996.
They're all smiles here at Riptides in the Gas Lamp.
Certainly the gas lamp and business community has been looking forward to and very supportive of getting that convention in. It means an enormous amount of activity with the convention center being a block away.
A block away from a midsummer's gold mine.
I think it's going to be filled up for about a month because all the staging that goes on in advance, and news media from all over the world come here. So it's a month bang for us. It's big time.
Big time for hotels, too.
We'll occupy about 10 straight days of our hotel being totally sold out, where we've committed 95% of our guest rooms to a Republican National Convention.
There'll be rooms with a view of money for hotels citywide.
We need like 136,000 total room nights for the Republican National Convention to be successful.
The convention will pump some $40 million into the local economy.
We'll get killed.
Killed in a positive way.
Killed in a positive way. It's great for us. We'll do a lot of business, a lot of sales.
Anytime there is a convention down here in downtown, business always picks up.
At Bayside Deli, the convention is like extra lettuce. It'll mean more green. Is there any downside to having thousands of people around in this area?
Not to me, not as a manager of a deli.
Not only would it be a financial boost for the city, but psychological as well. It would exorcise the demons of being passed over for such a convention some 20 years ago, prompting then Mayor Pete Wilson to come up with the phrase, America's finest city. Now here's a chance to prove it.
The business in that short time period is fantastic, and we certainly need it down here.
Are Republicans pretty good drinkers?
I'm a very good drinker, yes, thank you.
So with all the money windfall, it'll be a public relations windfall as well, which will in turn mean even more money from even more visitors. With more on what the convention will mean for San Diego's image, here's News 8's Chris Saunders. Chris?
And image is everything, Graham. Perception is, they say. It's a chance for San Diego to shape its image on the world stage for a solid week. San Diego has been in the national and the world spotlight before. We've hosted the Super Bowl, the All-Star Game, the America's Cup, but we've never been in the spotlight like a national political convention.
One of the things about a convention is that it goes over a number of days, and so the attention is not just one event, one peak moment. It's fairly constant.
Look at Houston in '92 and listen to what city fathers said after it was over.
Most people leave here thinking that Houston is an extremely friendly city, very hospitable city.
But look at Chicago in '68. The Democratic convention that year will always be remembered for the rioting and the way Chicago police bashed heads. A convention can give a city a black eye, too.
The sort of annoyances that come with conventions, demonstrations, and so forth. We see that all the time. You would see that in any city.
But Marco Walshak says if there are demonstrations here over, say, the immigration issue, it's not like it couldn't happen in the other cities.
We'd see something like that. If it was in San Antonio, we would see something like that perhaps if we were in New Orleans, which was the other possibility. So I don't really see that sort of thing really detracting it.
What this really is a chance for San Diego to shine, our beautiful beaches and palm trees. But mostly, it's a chance to show that San Diego is finally one of the big boys.
That's why I think it's a make or break event, because the exposure that a high visibility, high attention event like this can bring, not just to the traditional amenities of San Diego, but to the region.
Maybe the GOP convention will get rid of that little brother complex that San Diego seems to have, you know, where we jump up and down and say, look at us, we're big too. Chris Saunders in the Channel 8 newsroom.
Okay, thank you, Chris. O.J. Simpson's lawyers want to cancel a pretrial hearing on genetic evidence. They filed a motion today saying an evidence hearing would deny Simpson his right to a speedy trial. Instead, they want the genetic evidence presented to the jury, and they want to start opening arguments on January 4th. In a San Diego courtroom, a preliminary hearing for a man accused of beating two elderly women to death. We cannot show you Philip Jackson's face. One of his alleged victims was 87-year-old Rena DeGeorge, who was found in her home badly beaten.
Her nose was broken and it was pushed up to her eye. She had dried blood in her ears.
Jackson is also charged with severely injuring a third woman. His lawyers say he wasn't in the area when the attacks happened. The hearing will continue tomorrow.
More information is coming out today about the last hours in the life of a Tijuana woman who came to San Ysidro to get an abortion. Medical staffers at a South Bay hospital are very upset about the condition Magdalena Rodriguez was in as she arrived at their emergency room. News 8's Jody Hammond's been following the story. She has the latest for us.
And how Rodriguez had gone to the El Norte clinic the day before she died to begin the two-part procedure necessary for a late-term abortion. She told the doctor she was 22 weeks pregnant. There's disturbing evidence to indicate she was much farther along.
The baby was too far along for an abortion. It was murder.
Paula is a nurse at Scripps Hospital, Chula Vista, where Magdalena Rodriguez died last Thursday night. Paula isn't her real name, but she agreed to speak to us only if we kept her identity to ourselves. She's haunted by the death of Rodriguez. Rodriguez, who lived in Tijuana, had gone to the El Norte clinic in a San Isidro shopping center. The 23-year-old mother of one had $1,000 cash to pay for the abortion. Are some women charged $1,000 for the more complicated late-term abortions?
Yes, absolutely.
And how far into the pregnancy were abortions performed then?
It depended on the doctor. I never asked him, you know, how big they were. Like on her chart, I remember I had written down that her last menstrual period was 22 weeks ago, and I put a question mark beside it. Okay, because that's what she told me.
It wasn't a 22-weeker. It wasn't a 26-weeker. The estimate of most of the people that saw it was between 30 and 34 weeks.
Which would make this an illegal abortion?
Illegal, all the way.
Abortions are legal up until the 24th week through the second trimester of pregnancy. After that, only if the mother's life is in danger. But in Mexico, abortions are completely illegal. So Mexican women often cross the border in desperation. At Woman Care South, a clinic with 40% Mexican clientele, a woman's story is medically verified before an abortion is performed.
They're willing to lie about their period and about the month of weeks that she's pregnant. So I'm not amazed that there are women out there that are trying to get abortion this late.
Dr. Suresh Gandotra, who performed the abortion, hasn't been at the clinic since last week. His lawyer says he's devastated by Rodriguez's death. Rodriguez was brought here to the emergency room at Scripps Hospital, Chula Vista. Paramedics were administering CPR as they arrived, and things didn't look good. She was rushed into emergency surgery, a hysterectomy, and she was pronounced dead 5 hours after arriving at the hospital. But according to Paula, who was working that night, doctors and nurses were horrified at the condition of both Rodriguez and the fetus.
A very painful death for the baby and the mother. We've done, D&Cs on women who've come in the emergency room, who have had abortions, who have not stopped the bleeding, but nothing. I've never seen anything like this. Never. I don't want to again. An investigator from the State Attorney General's office visited the clinic this afternoon, and the State Medical Board is also looking into the case. But the clinic remains open, and tomorrow Dr. Gandotra has abortions scheduled.
Judy, do they know exactly what caused the death? What was the cause of death?
Well, according to Gandotra's attorney, it was a perforated uterus, but as far as the coroner is concerned, those results on the autopsy won't be available until at least the end of this week, possibly next week.
All right, thanks, Jody.
Still ahead on News 8 tonight, a warning about speeding tickets in Mission Beach, and you don't even have to be behind the wheel of a car. We'll explain next.
Also ahead, it might be maybe the ultimate gift for the person who has everything. Find out about a wristwatch that costs as much as a house. Then later, we'll have this.
Does an emergency veterinary clinic have an obligation to treat an injured animal even though the owners don't have the money to pay? I'm Chris Saunders. We'll have that emotional story coming up later on News 8.
I'm Leon Eater, and this is a place that claims to serve the best steak in the world. See what I think later on News 8.
People notice a beautiful watch. They really do. I love this Bulova watch. The bracelet style, just by itself, is a piece of jewelry. It's not something you see every day, but a black pearl from the South Seas is unique jewelry. This pearl set reflects true beauty.
Your personal jeweler, Ben Bridge.
Rancho Jeep and Eagle, San Diego's 5-star Jeep and Eagle dealer, announces the biggest clearance sale of the year. 95 Jeep Classic Cherokee.
Hey, not so fast. It's the holiday season, and Rancho has a surprise for you. AAA membership at no charge with every new or used Rancho vehicle sold in December. AAA membership with roadside assistance, travel planning, and more, yours at no charge. Have a happy holiday. Ho, ho, Rancho.
118 Claremont Mesa Boulevard. The sale must end December 31st.
I have spinal arthritis. To make it worse, I took a bad fall. So I went to see my FHP doctor. I chose him very carefully. Hi, Betty. So he said, no more arthritis medicine for you, and sent me off to a physical therapist. No medication, and I feel better than ever. And now at 76, I'm a water ballerina.
FHP, your health partner for life.
It's like my second childhood.
Many adults think braces are only for children, but you know better. With the Western Dental Plan, Dr. Beecham and his family of qualified orthodontists take pride in molding smiles of all ages. Appointments are available evenings and Saturdays, making it convenient to fit orthodontic care into your busy schedule. For only $94 a month and no money down, we offer an affordable 2-year program with no interest charges. Call 1-800-6-DENTAL.
There's a new pet.
Chia.
Chia Pet, the pottery that grows. It's fun and easy. Soak your chia, spread the seeds, keep it watered, and watch it grow. Grow a collection of fun with Chia Pet puppies, kittens, turtles, bunnies, plus the new Chia frogs, pigs, hippos, and Chia trees. Ask for it by name.
Chia.
The pottery that grows.
The Chia Pet is available at Thrifty, Payless, Save-On, and Kmart. Makes a great gift.
Slow down. That's the message the San Diego City Council is sending to the hundreds of thousands of people who use the Mission Beach Boardwalk. The council has approved an 8-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's all to improve safety, especially during the heavy summer crowds. New signs should be installed by April. Hal.
A 14-month-old San Marcos boy is back at home tonight, safe and sound, after a frightening accident nearly took his life. Gabriel Austin had been playing near some vertical blinds. He fell right into a loop formed by the cord, and Gabriel was strangling.
I walked into the kitchen, looked across the room, and I saw him hanging with his arms outstretched like this from the vertical blind cord. And I just ran over, picked him up, yelled to everybody. I don't know, I kind of screamed and yelled. I told my daughter, call 911, and I started CPR right away.
Well, again, as you can see, Gabriel is just fine, and on News 8 at 6:30, you will hear that dramatic 911 call for help. The fire department says there is a real lesson to be learned from a fire that gutted a Lakeside daycare center. The 6 children inside made it out okay, but as Ryan Baker reports, the center, which is also a home, is a total loss.
This was my mother's, my grandmother's.
After a night with almost no sleep, Doris Bloomberg began the heart-wrenching task of looking at the charred remains of her home and daycare center. Many of the priceless possessions lost belonged to her husband, who passed away 2 years ago.
I have all his memorabilia, and my mother died at the same time. I have a lot of her things, and a lot of that has been destroyed. There are a few things that are still intact, so I'm just grateful for the few things. But they're material things, and my main concern is the children.
Those being the 6 children who escaped the Monday afternoon fire at her daycare center. The fire was caused by too many Christmas lights strung together. 2 of her grandchildren were there at the time. Brennan Bloomberg was able to save one of his 3 cats.
He had to have oxygen all over him because he was like this with the paws on him because the smoke was getting in him. Really happy because he was the only one that survived.
Little Blake Bloomberg was happy about finding more of his Power Ranger toys.
My Power Ranger Nintendo game.
The fire was believed to have been started in this corner. The extension cord from the Christmas lights was plugged in here, and this nearby stack of magazines and newspapers was ignited by the sparks from the overloaded wires. The insurance company adjuster says the total amount of loss to the Bloomberg home could easily be $200,000.
The candy cane?
Other daycare providers have agreed to take on Bloomberg's children until she can get back on her feet, which she hopes will be soon.
I do have a garage in the back. Hopefully we can use. Licensing approves that.
Ryan Baker, News 8, Lakeside.
The San Diego Armed Services YMCA sorted special holiday treats today. Volunteers and staff gathered toys and food today to prepare hundreds of baskets for needy military men and their families. This is the 8th year they've passed out the baskets. If you want to donate, contact your nearest Armed Services YMCA. Elementary students from San Ysidro sorted through stacks of socks today. It's all part of St. Vincent de Paul's holiday program for the homeless. Teachers say students donated their time instead of food and money, and they told the kids to remember one thing.
Hey, come on, guys, we're going to see through their matching. Remember, you're not a complete uniform if you have mismatched socks.
should be sure there's no mismatched socks. A Christmas wish comes true for a special San Ysidro family. A grandmother with almost nothing took in her 3 grandchildren after their mother died in August. Then the Bravo program and Factory Outlet adopted the family, and today they got a special gift. New furniture, tables, chairs, and a sofa was given to them. They even got a special treat. As you just saw, their very own Christmas tree.
Nice story. Now, if you're the type of person who likes throwing around your hard-earned cash, we may have a gift item just for you. The Grand Complication wristwatch goes for $175,000. You heard right. Currently, only 2 watches like this in the country, the others on the East Coast. Leo Hamill Jewelers in North Park say the watch may be costly, but hey, they say it's worth it.
It tells you the day, the date, the month, the year, decade, century, millennium, hours, minutes, and seconds. It's a chronograph recording hours, minutes, and seconds. It also tells you the phase of the moon. And the interesting thing about this movement is it's all perpetually correct until the year 2499.
But can it clean your house or wash your car? By the way, if you order the watch with the platinum bracelet, the price goes up to $250,000. Now, we're told they do take trade-ins to help lower the cost of the watch. So, you know, bring in your old Timex and see what they can do for you.
I wonder how much my Mickey Mouse would be worth, how much it could lower the price of that.
$250,000 for a wristwatch?
No, cannot.
Wow.
In a moment, Ted's Son of Sports. It's time once again to listen in on Ted's voicemail.
And a little bit later, from the football field to the classroom, meet some inspirational high school student athletes. We're coming right back.
Announcing the C&R Holiday Sale. Great gifts at savings of up to 70%. Only $10 for designer and imported silk ties. Only $15 for brand name and designer shirts. Only $49.99 for stylish corduroy blazers. And save on every fall suit, every fall sport coat. Save in every department at the C&R Holiday Sale. On now.
Presenting the Smart Clapper.
How smart could it be?
The Smart Clapper lets you turn 2 appliances on or off at the same time, and it knows the difference. Clap twice to control one, 3 times to control the other. It's easy. Plug 2 appliances into the Smart Clapper, then plug the Smart Clapper into any outlet. Great for hard-to-reach areas.
Clap on, clap off.
Set the Smart Clapper to away for added security. It's ready to turn on your TV and lights at the first sound it hears. And for convenience, the Smart Clapper turns on lights when you enter a dark room. Turns them off minutes after you leave.
Clap on, clap off. Clap on, clap off.
The Smart Clapper.
The Smart Clapper is available at Payless, Long's, Thrifty, Kmart, J.J. Newberry, and participating Ace, True Value, and Service Star. Makes a great gift.
When you're looking for a casino, not a road trip, come to Sequan. Real gaming, real close.
Channel 8 offers these gift guide suggestions to help make your holiday shopping easier. Decorate your home for the holidays with an elegant and festive centerpiece from Canterbury Gardens and Gifts in Escondido. Choose from their incredible selection or have them create a custom decoration of your very own. Don't forget man's best friend this holiday season. You'll find a huge selection of dog and puppy supplies at the Pet Supply Warehouse. Stop in today at one of their convenient San Diego County locations. For additional gift guide shopping suggestions, keep watching Channel 8.
AT&T, this is Margaret.
Margie, tell me about AT&T True USA Savings.
Certainly.
What's the monthly fee?
No fee.
No fee?
No fee! Make $25 in calls a month, and we'll subtract 20% off your AT&T bill.
Wow!
I'm sick of the circles!
You got circles?
No calling circles. You could save to anybody in the U.S. you want to call.
No circles. Call anybody.
Anybody?
Anybody!
AT&T True USA Savings. Save 20% to anybody, anytime, anywhere.
Your true voice.
I'm Gina Liu. Travel deals from an expert. Tomorrow morning at 6 on News 8.
To enter your mailbox, press pound. Please enter your mailbox number. Ready.
I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of voicemail about the Chargers, but that's just an assumption here.
Well, there is. Time does not permit me to play it all.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to take the rest of the newscast. They can call this the 5 p.m. voicemail, but they don't. They call it the 5 p.m. news, so I have a very small segment, which is certainly justifiable. Yeah, right. I don't tell the producers that, but that's the deal. Yes, many of you have been calling and saying, for the first time in my memory, give it to those Chargers. Give it to them. I thought, whew, 9-5. If I told you before the year they were going to be 9-5 going into Christmas, you'd say, oh, take that. So chill. I don't want to hear it. I'll be the one criticizing. You don't need to tell me to criticize them. Please. Voicemail, let us begin.
A lot of people feel that Stan Humphries should be left out of the game. He throws nothing but interceptions for the past 3 games. He is playing injured, and he sucks. We don't want him in there anymore.
See, Hendricks and I talked about this, that forever, whoever is the starter, unless it's a Dan Fouts, the fans are always clamoring for the other guy. It's always, it's those that you can move to a different bed in the hospital, then you could get better. It's the same thing. It's the other guy would do better. So Gilbert comes in, who people thought was nothing, and throws a touchdown. So say, no, leave him in. He's much better. If he was better than Humphries, he'd be a starter. But he's not. He's a traditional and long-term journeyman backup guy. That's dumb. I know you're frustrated, but that's dumb to think, put in a guy who's not as talented as Humphries. Now, if Stan isn't physically able to play, then you're right. But if he says he is, then you have to think that he is. So there you have it. Can I adjust the lights here a little bit? Okay. It's holiday season. We install our clapper here on the light, so I just want to make sure that I had it adjusted. This is a little bit too bright up here, so I just... yes, next.
I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just love that dance that Deion Sanders does in the end zone. If you're in a good mood that day, tomorrow something, would you show it one more time? And you're really looking great lately. Did you have a facelift or lose weight or something? You look good.
I've had that. Have you had a facelift? Are you dying? Are you sick? No, I went on a diet and started working out, and after my surgery in August, as an impetus to start it. So no, I didn't have a facelift, but I would if I could extend this career. Like one day, I would get a facelift. It would be worthwhile. People actually called and liked this Deion Sanders thing. I mean, Junior Seau, maybe he's right. He said, oh, it's entertainment. We're entertainers out there. No, you're not. You're football players. I want a dancer. I'll go see somebody dance. Look at this bozo. I wish somebody would have come up to him and just, Harry Swain there, 72, and just smacked him and knocked him right on his butt while he was dancing. And many of you, must have been 49er fans, thought that was neat. I mean, how is that neat? To show up the opposition and dance after a touchdown. Where does dancing come in? I just missed it. It is so dumb. Whew. And the guy's got, shoe ads and millions of dollars, and what do we know, are we done? We done? No? One more? Always.
That creep you have on your show tonight from the Chargers, he's just jealous of Deion. And if Deion feels he wants to entertain by dancing, so be it, okay? He should know that's Deion's style, and let it be. They just got beat and accepted.
See, that was for, what's his name, Hendrickson, who said that Deion is a jerk. And Steve was totally accurate because he is, in fact, a jerk. Don't believe me, ask the Falcon players, his teammates, and who had to put up with him. And the man abides by only his rules and leaves his baseball team in the middle of a playoffs to go play football. When he said he wouldn't do it, the man has no integrity. And based on that, people, got to be 49er fans, defend dancing when you're already winning and beating the other team. Yo.
Isn't it against the rules, or is it just spiking the ball?
You can spike the ball. You can't do, what do they call it in the rules, a technical...
Taunting?
An orchestrated, you can't taunt, and you can't have an orchestrated group dance.
Oh, I see.
But if they think it's kind of spontaneous and all that, then they allow that.
Then it's
stuff.
all right.
And I used to complain about spiking now. I mean,
yeah,
now
really?
they're being so creative. Don't be creative, just play football.
All right, thanks, Dad.
She brought him into this world. He gave her the gift of life.
Straight ahead on News 8, see why this is going to be an extra special holiday for a local mom and her son.
Plus, we'll have an update on that plane crash in North Carolina, along with this coming up.
Yeah, I'm Hank Bauer. I'm at the Charger Blood Drive in Mission Valley. I was supposed to have the Charger girls with me, but, well, it's not the first time I've been stood up in my life. I promise you I'll be right back with Stan Humphries and the story here at the Charger Blood Drive.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, he's so excited about his new job, he plans to sleep on the floor of his office. He's a new congressman. Eye on America later on the CBS Evening News.
It's not Harvard.
It's not Yale. It's not Princeton. It's the training class at home base, and all of our employees have to pass it. Been to home base recently? Wrap up your holiday shopping with this Super Saver white handheld shower head by Teledyne Waterpick with a powerful adjustable spray, just $16.99. Service, price, selection. Nobody covers the bases like home base. Home base, ready to help.
I enroll people for Secure Horizons, and recently I got an enrollment form that had August of '92 as a date of birth. So I called to ask about it.
I was born in August of '92, 1892.
I thought, my gosh, she's 102. When I asked what took her so long to join, she said she didn't think we'd take her because she's a diabetic. But that doesn't matter with Secure Horizons.
I like this plan so much, I told my baby he ought to join.
Her baby is 64. He'll be ready next year.
Secure Horizons. We take your health care personally.
Chia. Chia Herb Garden comes with everything you need to grow 6 different herbs indoors. Seeds, pots and saucers, plant food, instruction booklet, even chia growing mix. A great gift for anyone. Just plant your herb seeds, water, add plant food, then put them in a sunny spot and... Chia makes cooking fun.
And tasty.
Chia. Chia Herb Garden.
The Chia Herb Garden is available at Thrifty's, Save-On, Long's, and Payless drugstores. Makes a great gift.
Black Nativity, an 8 Cares holiday cultural play full of gospel music. I'm John Kalia. Call 262-2817 for tickets. Another way, 8 Cares.
The Santa Claus may have hit #1 at the box office, but it looks like Tim Allen's getting some jolly old competition.
Yo-ho-ho!
Mickey Rooney's playing Santa this season, so let the battle of the St. Nicks begin. Then Garth Brooks may have friends in low places, but he's definitely on a high. He's broken not 1, but 2 country music records, and he's sharing the secrets to his success.
As long as you've got the jersey on, man, I think you play your song.
A Garth Brooks exclusive on Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 7 on Channel 8.
Rescue crews are now on the scene of an American Eagle commuter plane that's crashed in Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's go to Mitch Duncan in the newsroom with the very latest. Mitch.
Well, Susan, an American Eagle plane, a Jetstream Flight 3379, has gone down on a flight from Greensboro to Raleigh-Durham in a wooded area. It went down southwest of the Raleigh-Durham airport with 18 passengers on board and a crew of 2. The weather, 37 degrees in fog and rain. There was one report at least 5 people have survived, but another report at least 10 people have been killed. The FAA confirms those fatalities. We now have an interview with a fire official from North Carolina.
Okay, right now we're mobilizing a rescue effort to go through everything we've got here, try to find any survivors. Everybody who is here, we're trying to move them out. We've got a pretty large effort mobilized as far as law enforcement, emergency medical services, and fire personnel. We're continually calling more fire personnel in to go through the area. Hopefully we'll know some real good specifics in just a few minutes.
Now, we've had a couple ambulances leave the area.
Again, Flight 3379, an American Eagle plane with 18 passengers on board, a crew of 2, went down this afternoon in North Carolina. At least 5 people survived. At least 10 people have been killed. We'll have more information as it becomes available. I'm Mitch Duncan, live in the Channel 8 newsroom.
Thanks, Mitch. Does an emergency veterinary clinic have an obligation to treat an injured animal if the owners don't have the money to pay? Now, that's a question one San Diego couple faced through a very emotional evening last night. We get more now from News 8's Chris Saunders.
This is Hard Time. He's a part Chihuahua, part pit bull who was badly injured last night in a fight with 2 much larger pit bulls. He was treated by veterinarian Robert Johnson at Colina Veterinary Hospital.
He's got punctures on both sides, punctures back into the spine here.
But earlier, Hard Time's owners had taken him to the emergency animal hospital in Mission Valley, where they said Hard Time couldn't be treated because they didn't have $400 up front.
Basically, that's what it was. It was all financial. They told us we didn't have any money, that there was nothing they could do.
I felt very heartbroken, and like if, they didn't care, and they were just out for the money and not for the sake of Hard Time.
Our policy is that all of our users pay fees at the time of services.
But emergency hospital administrator Paul Cervoni says they did examine and stabilize Hard Time before they told his owners how much treatment would cost.
I think they have the sense that they were turned away.
They maybe have that sense. They weren't. We were giving them the options that we had available for them, and it was really up to them to make a decision.
The dogfight happened near here at 41st and Hilltop. County Animal Control tracked down the two owners of the two different pit bulls and cited them both. Misdemeanor violations for failing to protect the public from dogs.
No movement in any of his feet, no pain sensation.
As for Hard Time, he suffered spinal cord damage and his back legs are paralyzed. So Michelle Carter may have a difficult decision to make.
I love him. I'm going to miss him. If I have to put him to sleep, I don't want to, but I refuse to see him suffer.
Chris Saunders, News 8.
A very joyful homecoming today for a San Diego woman. 65-year-old Valeriana Hurl left the hospital today, less than 1 week after her kidney transplant. You'll recall that Hurl got her new kidney from a very special donor, her own son. Today, Hurl was bubbling with excitement.
This is a big miracle. It's the biggest Christmas present I ever had in my life.
Hurl says she can't wait to get better so she and her husband can go fishing again.
Not a great story. Every time you hear about it, it makes you feel good. If you hurry, you still have time to make it to the 16th annual Chargers Blood Drive. It is the biggest single-day blood donor event in the country. Now, some of the Chargers have been at the Town and Country Convention Center all day, and our Hank Bauer's there right now. Hammer.
16 years, hell. I'm feeling older. I'm not feeling much balder. I look like this way back when. But yeah, this is the 16th year. It's all started way back in 1979 when Rolf Benerska got sick, and they put a call out for help, and San Diego certainly responded. And the team has always gotten behind this event, and it continues to get behind this event. Joining me now, Stan Humphries, the Charger quarterback. And Stan, this is your day off, but it's pretty nice you guys to come down, and especially these days.
Yeah, you know, it's with the way that things have been going the last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, it's tough to come out. Everybody wants to ask questions and wants to find out what's going on. But for something like this, as special as this is, I got no problem with it. I've sat down for a couple hours already signing autographs out there, and I'll be in the fashion show tonight. And you know, this thing here is something that's special, and I'm proud that the Chargers are really behind it as much as we are.
Well, thanks for joining us, and thanks for coming here. I know the fans are enjoying your company. And are you going to win this game Sunday? Come on, bring it home.
I'm not going to make a Joe Namath prediction, but you know, we feel like that. You know, we didn't play well Sunday, but we felt like we got a lot of confidence there in the second half offensively, so we can carry that over this week.
All right. Well, good luck. Bring it home. All right. Stan Humphries joining us. Of course, this will be going on until 7 o'clock when the fashion show starts and supposedly the blood drawing stops. The good news is I've not seen Tom Cruise or Brad Pitts here, so I guess they're drawing blood the conventional way. It's a party. Town and Country Convention Center. Hank Bauer, Stan Humphries. Back to you, Hal.
Only Hank would say something like that, wouldn't he? Just Hank. Reaching out to the youngest generation, that's what was going on in Golden Hill today. News 8's John Kalia with a story of 5 young men learning how to be role models.
My little sister saw me riding my skateboard. She said,
"Me too."
Robert Rush, a senior from Morse High, encouraging youngsters at San Diego's School of Success.
His name was Tyrone. Tyrone the Horrible. What kind of present could he give Tyrone?
Lonnie Bergeron, also of Morse High's Gentlemen of Quality Club, showing youngsters the importance of reading. The morning was special, and so was the night before. Rush, number 35, and Bergeron, number 22, making a tackle for Morse High's championship Tigers. A pressure game, but nothing like a room full of 4-year-olds.
Here you're all by yourself, and the kids, you know, you got to tell them to settle down, sit down, you know.
They'll tear you up, huh?
Yeah, they will. You know, I feel for these teachers, but, you know, I also respect them.
It was in the water.
Every reading is special, some perhaps more interesting than others, but you quickly learn something.
You guys know this by heart, don't you?
Yeah.
Other Morse students taking part, Marcus Brady, Lamar Selman, and Antrell Crockett, who has big plans.
Wake Forest University. That's, you know, North Carolina, psychiatry, PhD, MD, you know. And
you got big plans?
Yeah, big money plans too, but, you know, this is what it's really all about, though.
The game of football for Lonnie Bergeron, number 22, was this nifty tackle. He's part of a championship team, and the next day, he was a star in the game of life.
John Kalia, News 8, Golden Hill.
Up next, Lauren has our midweek forecast.
Plus some dramatic video shot off the coast of Southern California. All the weather just ahead.
Remember the thrill of your first electric train? For a lot of us, this is the time of year when Dixieline becomes one big toy store with grown-up toys, like these professional quality Bosch tools. Select the detail sander for only $69, the world-class jigsaw for $149, or the 12-volt cordless drill kit for only $169. So make tracks for your nearest Dixieline Home Center, where value hits home.
A yellow fable, the Earl and the Spark Plug. Earl, a good man in other respects, thought all yellow pages were the same. And so, picking the one with very few ads on auto parts, he went to the first store listed and got the wrong spark plug for his DeSoto. As a result, he missed his own wedding. This enraged his fiancée, who said, "I'm enraged, Earl," gave back his ring, but kept the cat, which Earl was rather fond of. Earl's father, who'd counted on Earl III, disinherited Earl, leaving him only the dead DeSoto and the pithy moral. For more ads and more choices, Earl, shop only in the Pacific Bell Smart Yellow Pages.
The work week. It's where we meet the world in full stride, with a week full of jobs and a truck full of opportunities. And there's one pickup that's perfect for a week like this. Ford F-Series. With the muscle of the most powerful diesel pickup engine ever, the convenience of a convertible console seat, and a full payload of our legendary toughness. More reasons why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck 17 years running. And that's a lot of work weeks.
It's hard to believe it's been over 40 years since my father opened Jerome's Furniture as a discount warehouse. We've gone through a lot of changes and growth over those 40 years, and we're not through yet. At Jerome's, our goal is to provide you with fashionable, quality furniture at an affordable price, and we're constantly updating our selection to improve it. And thanks to you, Jerome's is the #1 retailer in San Diego. Our commitment to you is great value, selection, and customer service. Jerome's. Check us out. I think you'll be surprised.
Was I the only person that was really cold today?
It was very cold.
As a matter of fact, when I was driving to work around Kearny Mesa, it was 59 degrees. So that's
for here, that's cold.
Yeah, that's not a warm afternoon temperature. If you told somebody back in New York City that, they'd be pleased to move here. They don't need to. We had a little rain in San Diego today. For the most part, 1/10 of an inch or less. A couple of places have picked up more than 1/10. That would be Fallbrook, 11/100ths. And up at Mount Laguna, they picked up about 1/3 of an inch. Everywhere else, less than 1/10 of an inch. But it was nice to see some clouds out there for a change. We've still got some of them hanging around with us. 56 degrees in San Diego right now. Relative humidity is 75%. The winds from the northwest. The barometer right there in the fair range, 30.12. Again, temperatures today along the coast very much like they were yesterday. That is the low to mid 60s. Inland, it was a bit cooler than yesterday, only into the very low 60s. Some places stayed in the 50s, like Alpine and Ramona, for example. In Mount Laguna, they only made it to 34 degrees. When you look around the rest of the country, here's what you see. Temperatures in the 30s through the Great Basin for the most part, over into the Rocky Mountains. Still quite cold up in the Plain States. Minneapolis only made it to 20 degrees today. Cool in Chicago as well at 29. Back on the East Coast, they've warmed up from yesterday, but it's still colder than we like it here in San Diego, a pleasant 80 degrees in Miami. See the red dots across Florida? This is unusual. This high pressure system is so strong, up around 30.80, so strong that the winds are affecting even southern Florida. You're getting east winds off the Atlantic. That doesn't usually happen. What's going to happen over the next couple of days is they're going to begin to blow across the Gulf of Mexico. As they do, they'll hit a cold front, and boom, South Texas is going to get a lot of rain. Moist air meeting up with a cold front. Ooh, watch the rain totals tomorrow. Our storm has moved to the east, as it did, 20, 22 inches in our own mountains as it moved over into Utah. Same story, about 20, 22 inches of snow. This is an absolutely phenomenal, perhaps a record-breaking winter by the time it's all said and done. We had the southern jet over us when it wasn't doing much. Now it's got moisture in it again, and it's moved back to the south of us. Sooner or later, this Pineapple Express is going to come up over San Diego, and maybe we'll start to get some winter rain at that point. It's not going to happen right away. Take a look at this. This is Salt Lake City, where they got a bunch of snow. The driving has been bad. They've had lots of big rig accidents, lots of car accidents as well. Heavy, heavy snow. Again, outside of Salt Lake City, over 1.5 feet. Now, here's a sight you don't see every day. This is up off of Newport Beach. A water spout. stayed out there for 45 minutes, absolutely harmless unless it either hits a boat or comes on shore and becomes a tornado. We also had one about 10 miles off Encinitas today, but these pictures were so dramatic we wanted to share the one up off of Newport Beach. Okay, let's fly a little bit. I wanted to show you the Raleigh, North Carolina area because of the plane crash up there, but first let's start with California. Still some residual moisture falling up over the Sierra Nevada. When you move to the east, you see Texas. They're already getting some of that rain from the Pineapple Express I showed. Now let's go even farther to the east because this is where the problems have been. You can see it's 38 degrees in Raleigh. They've had light rain and fog. Now that airplane, we don't know exactly what the conditions were when it was flying, but up around 9,000 feet is where you get the freezing level. So if they had icing and that was the problem, that's where it would have occurred, around 9,000 feet. Below that, below or above freezing, so not likely to have any icing. 38 degrees in Raleigh right now. In San Diego tomorrow, here's what you can expect. 62 again along the beaches. We do hope to warm up by the end of the week some. Mid-60s inland, 40s in the mountains, 60s in the deserts as well. Over the next several days, please let it get sunny and warm. I think it will.
Well, you know, the sun with the big clouds today was very attractive. Kind of on the day we found out about the Republican convention coming here, it's sort of a picture postcard kind of day.
Yeah, let's send it out to all the people coming.
I think we should. Okay. Thanks, Lauren.
Ted's on deck with all the sports. We'll have the latest on Junior Seau. Will he play this weekend?
Plus a look back at a pretty manic Monday night football game. All the highlights right ahead.
Secondary up very late. You bought it, Matt. You got to handle it.
If you buy something at Circuit City, then see it advertised for less, just come back. Our low price guarantee means you'll get the difference.
Excuse me. Last week I bought this.
Plus 10% of the difference.
And today I saw this. Just open the paper and there it was.
It's that easy.
Yeah. That's it?
That's it.
Cool.
Circuit City. Guaranteed unbeatable prices.
$25 can't buy much, especially during the holidays, unless you go to one of the 6 countywide Allstate cellular stores for the best combo since Thanksgiving and Christmas. While supplies last, get a quality, pre-owned, fully warranted cellular phone plus a top-name new-in-the-box car alarm, both for only $25. Alarming but true, a cellular phone and a car alarm, both for only $25. But only at Allstate, where you'll find virtually every make, model, and style, all at the guaranteed lowest prices. Call 1-800-KNOW-ALL for details. An authorized agent of U.S. West Cellular. Add $25 if not activating service through Allstate.
With help from Children's Hospital, Jessica Esquivel won her fight with a rare bacteria. Now she and other patients at Children's have drawn special holiday cards for you. Hi, I'm Hal Clemens.
And I'm Susan Peters. At San Diego area McDonald's, you can purchase these holiday cards while supplies last. They're sure to brighten your holiday.
A package of 10 beautiful cards is just $4.95. So drop into McDonald's and purchase a gift that really will make a difference.
This holiday, send a gift of hope. Another way, 8 cares about San Diego.
With help from Children's Hospital, Jessica Esquivel won her fight with a rare bacteria. Now she and other patients at Children's have drawn special holiday cards for you. Hi, I'm Hal Clemens.
And I'm Susan Peters. At San Diego area McDonald's, you can purchase these holiday cards while supplies last. They're sure to brighten your holiday.
A package of 10 beautiful cards is just $4.95. So drop into McDonald's and purchase a gift that really will make a difference.
This holiday, send a gift of hope. Another way, 8 cares about San Diego.
Whitney Houston exposed.
Did she have an affair with Robert De Niro? Did she and Eddie Murphy make love?
From her love life to her marriage, a new book reveals the real woman behind the facade. In Whitney, Totally Unauthorized. Then,
there are animals that are crippled, they are sick.
A special report you can't afford to miss. Is the beef you're eating bad? Plus, the inside story on the biggest week yet in the O.J. Simpson trial on the next hard copy.
Tonight at 7:30 on Channel 8.
We not only have questions about Junior Seau, but Natron and
whether Ted's
who
got
else?
a facelift. There's lots of
Courtney.
She's dropping names here.
Courtney.
Like, they're all first names. Natron, Courtney,
Means. I don't
Fabian,
know Courtney's last.
Martina. Just put a sock in it, for heaven's sakes. Anchor people try and act like they know about sports. He does because he was a sportscaster. We were competitors, Hal and I, once, many moons ago. And I'll tell you one time about the time when I applied for his job when he was at a different station.
Didn't get it either, did you?
He beat me out. He beat me out for a job at another station in San Diego back in 19-whatever, when Truman was in office, I do believe, way back when. It's something we don't talk about except among ourselves because I hate him. Anyway, the Junior, another former News 8 colleague of mine, Junior Seau, who became too rich and famous to come in and talk to me on Fridays and Mondays because he's a big star now, and John Madden and all the others go on and on and on about him. But he's banged up and he's hurt and he can't play like Junior. Simple as that. He's got a nerve in his neck. He's got a lot of nerve, and he's got hurt here. They had the MRI on the neck and the shoulder and everything else. The MRI is negative, so they just don't know really what's going to happen.
And I banged my knee in the ground on a tackle, and you know it wasn't something that you know, it's not something I'm going to harp on or we should harp on.
I mean, it may be that we can't make that decision by Wednesday, but I would say this for sure, that Lewis Bush will get more work this week in preparations.
So they have to win a game. Win a game! Just one. Just one. And this would be the one to recommend, because you don't want to come here against that Pittsburgh team that just kicks people's you-know-whats and try to clinch against them. But if Seattle can beat the Raiders, that would help too. So we'll see what happens. It's the playoff possibility thing. Last night, the playoff possibility for Kansas City got real slim. Boy, have they been a bust. I mean, look at the AFC West with Denver, Kansas City, and the Raiders. No, none of them near as good as anybody thought. Look at this. Look at the hang time on this pass. That's the backup to Joe Montana. Bono with lovely, a punt-like pass. And that's intercepted by Atkins, and when he gets tied up, he laterals back to Troy Vincent, knocks down the official, turns the corner. Look at Kansas City, like a bunch of fat old men. Whew, what a terrific run. Nice fake on Bono there, who's now looking for his laundry around the 25-yard line, at least the part that he wears underneath his little pants. And then on the ensuing kickoff, John Vaughn goes all the way 90 yards for a touchdown. This, at the time, got Kansas City within a touchdown, but Miami just beat him up like a drum. No contest whatsoever. Marino is still, if not the best, as good as anyone, period. Spikes goes over the top for the last Miami touchdown. They win 45-28. So this means nothing right now for Charger fans. Miami is in the playoffs. And if they win one of their last two, that sounds familiar, and they've got Indianapolis Sunday, so they're going to be the AFC East champions, and that takes care of that. We showed you the other high school divisional championships yesterday in the 5 and 6:30 p.m. type news broadcast. This is the Morse-Patrick Henry game with Jamie Kimbrough scoring. They missed the extra point after this one. This is the big one last night at the stadium. And look at the Morse defense. I mean, you shut out a good team like Patrick Henry in a championship game, and you are tough. You know, you are tough. This is Michael Yancey for the final touchdown. 13-0. Morse wins the championship over Patrick Henry last night in the other and final championship game. Ovations and the hero, the welcoming hero and the poster child for birth control in America. Dennis Rodman returned after a month of suspended with pay, without pay, can't get to practice, can't abide by team rules. Has visited the tattoo parlor quite a bit and has made his hair from red to green. That's a big news story. That's a big sports story. Dennis Rodman welcomed with an ovation by the crowd in San Antonio. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And he played pretty well, too. He did. And San Antonio also won its game. Speaking of not NBA, but the other team that moved out of I'm good, huh? Out of Minneapolis, the North Stars. The North Stars, before they moved to Dallas and before they moved to the Target Center, used to play in the Met Center. But they had no use for the Met Center, so they decided to basically, hey, the land's more valuable than the old building, blow it up. That's the Met Center going bye-bye. Someday, if I live long enough in this and have this job long enough, we'll go down to the sports arena and we'll get the new state-of-the-art one built, you know, with all the neat stuff, and we'll blow up the old one. Hey, better 10 years too late than never, right? Right. But not yet. Not yet.
Maybe you'll be able to do the honors.
Yeah, they'll give me the honors. See, the guy was wearing a North Star jersey, sweater.
Maybe by then the Clippers will be back and they'll ask you to do it.
Clippers will be back. That's what you want. Get the Clippers back. That and a rash I used to have right down. I want to get them both back, the Clippers and my rash.
Thanks, Dad. Here's something you can really sink your teeth into. Next on the News 8 menu, our unknown eater taste tests a steak restaurant that stakes a big claim. Find out if it lives up to its promise next.
My nickname at Walmart is the singing cashier. Singing is something I enjoy doing. It just brings out the Christmas joy in a person. I sing to my customers. Each time they come in the store, I'm always singing. And not only that, When they leave, I'm singing, so. And they walk away with the biggest smile on their face, like, wow. Not only makes me happy, but it makes them happy also. Knowing that, hey, she did it for me, you know.
We try to make your day a little brighter, holiday time or anytime.
That's my definition of the Christmas spirit.
The law and Jones and jury. They've got cases. We've got cases. They've got a jury. We've got a jury. They've got a judge. We've got Star Jones, former prosecutor and network legal correspondent. They can take months to resolve a problem. We can settle it in 30 minutes. Jones and jury, justice in 30 minutes. Fair, final, and legally binding.
Tonight on Channel 8, right after David Letterman.
On Gordon Elliott, moms who have deserted their families.
I'm so tired of being a mean old mom.
Do you want your mom around you?
Well, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't have to have her. You grew up and you don't even want me at all.
When mom leaves home, on the next Gordon Elliott.
Tomorrow morning at 9 on Channel 8.
It was the perfect place to live, but the walls had eyes. Cops say this family's privacy was stripped away in a real-life version of the movie Sliver. Was he a video voyeur? Watch the next current affair.
Tomorrow at 4 on Channel 8. When you watch News 8, watch closely. You'll see the most experienced news people in town living up to a promise. It's a promise to make a difference in San Diego. You'll see it in the stories we cover and the way we ask the questions. You'll see News 8 people look for answers. And together with you, we'll find the solutions. Together, we'll make San Diego a better place to live. It's a promise. News 8 cares.
They usually say, I'm looking for sex.
And these gigolos will give it to them for a price.
From $175 to as much as $500 an hour.
Why would a woman pay for sex?
This is the safest, easiest way I can get what I want.
Learn the secrets of their success.
This is something you actually inject into a part of your body, and it makes it very rigid.
Please repeat the name of that muscle stiffener.
Next Donahue.
Tomorrow at 3 on Channel 8.
Closed captioning is made possible by Vons, the store you've been asking for.
Finally tonight, our own no-eater cooks a great steak, and that can be a problem because no steak restaurant ever seems to measure up to his standards. So when a new steak place opens up with high prices and big promises, it better deliver big time.
Imagine for a moment of the forbidden joys of an extra thick cut of marbled steak covered with pure creamery butter.
Excellent. Cut it with a fork.
It's tender, it's flavorful.
A steak cooked to perfection, served on a platter so hot the butter sizzles.
Does your cardiologist know that you're here? Absolutely.
This crowd was obviously in serious red meat denial.
I feel no guilt.
None whatsoever. And I won't even go to the gym tomorrow.
That's just the way customers feel at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
I would have to say it's the most tender, delicious, flavored, absolutely melts in your mouth taste I've ever experienced in a steak.
It's a rare hunk of red meat that gets raves like that, but the people at Ruth's Chris say theirs is the best.
We serve only fresh prime beef, which makes up about 2% of all the beef that's produced in the United States.
And they have a very special way of cooking that beef.
They're like supercharged gas broilers.
Can I take a picture of it?
You cannot take a picture of it.
Because that super hot broiler has a super secret design.
Come on, be honest. You got a microwave oven in there, right?
Absolutely not.
However they do it, the results are spectacular. I tried the New York strip, 16 ounces of medium rare flavor-filled delight. And Mrs. Eater's filet mignon was done to perfection, tender and delicious. And then my daughter ordered the crab legs at market price.
$39 for a full order.
A breathtaking price, but a fabulous flavor. Our steaks are more than $20 each, and all the side dishes are extra. $4 for the cauliflower with cheese, about $5 for the Italian salad. Our service is very good. They even have separate runners to speed the food to your table at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, where the prices are high.
$20 plus for a steak?
It better be good.
A magnificent steak at a monumental price. For News 8, I'm the Unknown Eater.
I'm going to take out a loan and go there next week. Ted, can I borrow some money? Oh, yeah, me? No.
See you at 6:30.
Good night.
I've already given.